All right, what's going on, everybody? Broken Games HDR back at it again with another video. So this is my review for the last episode in The Last of Us Season 2. The episode title was Convergence. Usually I would have these episode reviews up, Monday, the day after the show comes out, but had a really busy weekend. But Season 2 is officially over. So before I get into the details, I guess my overall thoughts on just this episode and I guess this season also is things felt kind of rushed, right? Um, Now, of course, I don't expect them to hit every beat that's in the game. I don't expect the game and the show to be one for one, but sometimes I just feel like in a lot of the episodes, I feel like nothing happened, right? And then it feels like in some of the episodes nothing happened, and then the rest of the episodes too much happened. Like it was expedited. And to it was like to make up for all these episodes where very little happened, let's just expedite a whole bunch of shit and skip over a whole bunch of things that could have built up kind of tension and just paced the show better. I feel like that stuff was left out of the show. Like I said, it may not be it's not stuff that you could maybe you would say is not super relevant or needed, but it helped with the buildup. And I feel like a lot of this that's what this show missed a lot of the times was the slow buildup to things happening. So when things happened, it felt like, oh, y'all just jumped to that. Oh, that's what we're doing. Okay. But so this episode starts out with Jesse removing the arrow from Dina's leg because she got hit by a seraphite arrow in the last episode, and he had to like push it all the way through because you can't pull it out because it had the arrow tip. Um, it had the arrow tip head, so you got to push it out instead of pull it out. And then after that, Ellie arrives and Dina is tending to her wounds. This is pretty much like a one for one from the game. And I'm looking at these wounds Ellie has. I'm like, bro, I don't remember her really going through all that much to even have these type of wounds. Like it looks like she's been through battle. And in the game, you feel like she's been through battle. In the show, I'm like, I don't know if she really did all that to have those wounds. Okay, cool. Um, Ellie tells Dina that she found Nora and tortured her and got some information out of her, but she doesn't really understand what it means because all she said was whale and wheel. But we know that she means the Ferris wheel and the aquarium. That's what it means. Um, and then Ellie tells Dina the truth about what Joel did to the Fireflies and what happened at the hospital, and that they were making a cure. And Joel killed Abby's father. And I think just Dina just needs a moment to kind of cope with that. That kind of hit her kind of surprisingly. She seems a little bit shocked and upset at it at first. And then in the scene after, when Ellie and Jesse are preparing to leave to rendezvous with Tommy, Dina comes and gives Ellie the bracelet. I think this is the bracelet that her mother gave to her, I believe she said. So Jesse and Ellie are out, like I said, trying to find Tommy, going to the meeting spot. And Jesse isn't dumb and he sees all the signs that Dina is pregnant. And Ellie, confirms that with him pretty much. He wasn't sure. And he says, since he's a father, he can't die, which is like foreshadowing his death that's going to come later in the episode. So the WLF are chasing down a Seraphite. Jesse and Ellie is watching this, and Ellie wants to intervene. And Jesse stops her because, that ain't got nothing to do with them. That's not my business. We're here to rendezvous with Tommy, find him, and all of us go home. That ain't got nothing to do with him. And I agree. Nothing to do with him. Ellie want to play heroics at this time. Like, nah, bro. Um, so Isaac, so we get to see Isaac. He's speaking to one of the, I guess, squad leaders, the one who pretty much her son died in one of the previous episodes because he went down to the basement in the hospital. And Isaac, is talking about Abby because this commander is kind of like the squad leader doesn't understand like why he has this kind of like I guess, obsession over Abby because he sees Abby as the future leader of the WLF. And she's one of the people who has to be alive to take over, and what for when they're gone. because he acknowledges the fact that since they're invading Scar Island, it's very possible that a bunch of them are going to die. Um, so Jesse and Dina, excuse me, Jesse and Ellie are at the bookstore, similar to the game, and having conversations about how Jesse always puts other people before him and before what he wants, and that's kind of like his character. And Ellie kind of sees it as like him being, very self-righteous and all that shit, and she kind of doesn't like it. They hear over the radio a sniper engaging with the WLF. We know this is Tommy. I look forward to seeing this perspective in the next season, of Tommy taking on the WLF. That scene is in the game we obviously only see it from Abby's point of view. We actually don't get to see the work Tommy necessarily puts in. It's great to see it from Abby's point of view because you get to see like Tommy is an insane sniper. But I also want to see I want to see from both point of views because that's one thing we don't get to see in the game. So hopefully we will see that. Um, so they Jesse and Ellie go to an opening in the building, um, and they hear the sniper fire. They know it's Tommy. Ellie knows it's Tommy, but she sees the Ferris wheel in the aquarium and becomes completely obsessed with, oh, that's where Abby is. Gotta go get her. So she gets absolute tunnel vision. And him and her and Jesse go back and forth, and Jesse admits that he didn't even vote to go save Joel. And back when that episode aired, I think that was episode 3, I said I'm not completely sure it was because Tommy, his wife, and Jesse are on the panel, and I'm like, I'm not convinced it was actually all 3 of them that voted in favor of going after Joel. I think one of them could have possibly voted no, and now we learned that Tommy voted no, and she's pissed about that. Ellie's throwing a tantrum, so they split up. Ellie goes to the dock and see the WLF are preparing to invade Scar Island. We'll see, there's a lot of things in this episode where we will see the opposite point of view, next season. And by the way, they confirmed that this show is going to go on to 4 seasons because part two of this, part 2 of the game is good. They're going to need 3 seasons to flesh it out, which is, I guess that's understandable. And it probably is still going to feel rushed. Uh, so after Ellie lets the WLF pass by on their boats, she takes one of the boats and runs into a huge wave and ends up on Scar Island. Now, in the post, in the BTS, I guess, they actually admitted that this was originally going to be part of the game, where Ellie takes that boat and accidentally ends up on Scar Island, but they removed it. And so Ellie gets captured by the Seraphites because she washed up on the Seraphite Island shore, and they capture her and are about to string her up and kill her, but the village alarm goes off and plot armor ensues. This part, if you were going to do it this way, you should have just left this out. It doesn't make any sense that, oh, because the village alarm went off, they would leave Ellie unattended and leave her to do whatever she wants, let her go. Bro, they would have just killed her real quick. It takes like 5 seconds. If they really wanted to kill her, cut her throat. 2 seconds. If they wanted to draw her up, like, all right, listen, we got to kill her, then we got to go. That would have took like maybe 10, 15 seconds. It doesn't make this is the see, I'm not one of those people who like points at everything and be like, "Oh, this is a story hole and a plot hole. This is absolutely one of those situations. Bad plot armor. It's cheap. Doesn't make any sense. They should not have done it this way. It just doesn't make any sense. It's bad plot armor. So Ellie gets back in the boat, goes to the aquarium. So it's Owen and Mel there. She has them at gunpoint. Owen tries to quick draw a gun from under the table, and Ellie shoots him right through the neck. Mel is standing behind Owen, so I'm not a doctor or anything, but it looks like the bullet hit Mel's carotid artery or something because that thing is leaking and she's trying to stop the bleeding. And this is because there's a few instances where the show is better than the game. Not a lot, but this is one of those instances. So she's laying down, bleeding on the floor, and Mel is pregnant, and she asks Ellie to cut out the baby. I was like, "Oh, that's genius. That's just like real traumatic. That's real guilt that she's gonna have." Not because in the game, of course, she in the game she shoots Owen and stabs Mel, right? Um, and in the show, she just shoots Owen, accidentally hits Mel, and then learns that Mel is pregnant, and that sucks for her. She feels bad, but now they're racking on the guilt because Mel also asks her to essentially deliver her baby before she dies, and of course, the whole parallel of Dina being pregnant, so that hits her hard. That was a good addition to the show. So Tommy and Jesse show up, and they go back to the movie theater together. Jesse and they're all consoling her in the part of the theater. Jesse and Ellie are having a conversation and hear some commotion, run out to the theater, and this is pretty much a play by play of the game. Jesse runs in, gets shot in the head by Abby, instantly death. That was a 1-for-1 shot. Like it seems like because he got shot through the cheek, and just falls out. Seems like a 1-for-1 shot. I think this is one of the best deaths in the game in the Last of Us because it just shows that it confirms the world that they live in, right? That death isn't necessarily predictable. It isn't like it isn't grand. Sometimes it could be instant, just like that. Like people just die in an instant. I that I just like that part that they show that that's the way this world works. Not people don't get amazing, you know, shooting out in a blaze of glory type death. It could just be instant. You're here 1 second, you're gone the next. So, and it could be a character you love that's kind of innocent in all of it. Uh, so Jesse's dead, and pretty much play by play of how it is in the game. Ellie stands up, Abby sees it's her, and like, yo, I let you live, and now you fuck it up and come back here. And then screen cuts to black. We go to Abby day one in Seattle, overlooking the WLF base, and that is the conclusion to season 2. So not a bad episode, like I said. It's just a lot of expediting, I think, and it just feels very rushed. So I guess we will get season 3 in another 2 years. So I will see y'all in 2027 back reviewing this. All right, let me know what y'all think. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out of here. Peace.